Hey guys, it's Carolina here from KarolinasKrafts and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to show you guys another folio I made trying to use up this paper pad and single sheets that I had from this collection. So the Avenue by Recollections and the Avenue by Jen Hadfield. They were like very similar and almost the same. And looking at this, you would not think that there's any blues in this paper pad, but there was, and I guess you can kind of see it a little bit here. In that little cut apart, there were some blues in here, but you don't see it on like the full size sheets. But the previous projects I made, I focused on the corals and the greens, so this was one of them. Then I made two of these kinds of albums, and I focused, like I said, on the corals and the greens. But this time I made one focusing on the blues, so the blues and the greens. So I wanted to share with you guys what it looks like on the inside. This is where I got down to like my final kind of pieces of paper from the collection. So let's get started and I'll share with you guys what it looks like. So this album I have decorated with some ephemera pieces and some like chipboard pieces from another home themed collection, which is actually called The Simple Life by Simple Stories. A couple of months ago, in one of my Paper Stash Smash collaborations, I was using that Simple Life paper pad. It was a 6x8, and so I still had a bunch left over because I had the ephemera, I had the sticker sheet, I had the chipboard. So it actually went really well with this collection, especially because the Simple Life was like very green. And then there's a lot of greens in this collection as well. But this time I did the blues, no corals in this album at all. So you could kind of see, like, even though the paper pad and the projects look completely different, like maybe you wouldn't think they came from the same collection, but they did. Like, you could always split up your papers and make them work for you however you want. And like no two projects are ever going to look the same, which is like the beauty of it. So this was one of the large cut aparts from the collection. It says "Live What You Love." I loved it. It fit perfectly onto this folio here, which measures 5 inches by 8.5. I think it has a 3/4 inch spine. I do have a process video on how I make this in like a Christmas theme, because I'm using up like my scraps in that Christmas video, using up my scraps and making this folio album. So there is a process video on how I make it, so you guys can watch that and be able to make one yourself as well. It's got stitching detail and everything. So when you open this up, it looks like this on the inside. Simple, but it can fit quite a lot of photos in here. So let's just focus on the left for a second here. So it says our family, using another chipboard piece, another ephemera piece, which is like the florals from that Simple Life collection. I have another blue like insert, just going with the blue kind of green theme here. This is like a large insert, so you could fit another photo on there, or two, or probably two that way. And then if you want, you could journal here and add your photos here. You could also add additional photos to the back. You could also fit more photos in this pocket. There's this tag as well, and I didn't put a hole in it. You can if you want, but I just thought it kind of looked good like that. And then you could write on the back. And then there's this little booklet that just says "Best Day Ever." So I have that living in this angled pocket, and you could see I used the little branding strip at the top. It was green, it went with it, and I was just like, we're keeping it. I don't need to cut it shorter. Then here, I normally don't make a belly band for these, but because this time I used a landscape size cut apart, I felt like a belly band was necessary because there's a lot of waterfalls in here. So I decided to just do the belly band. I did use a magnet as my closure, and I just used, I'm going to share with you guys. I used the 1/2 inch magnet from Total Element Magnets. These are my favorite magnets. You guys can see I am now running a little bit low on these magnets. I use them a lot. And you guys can get these magnets with the code KarolinasKrafts for 10% off your order. I'm going to have them linked down below, but they are my favorite. I have done a couple of videos on these. I try to share them with you guys every time I do a video and every time I use one of the sizes in my projects, and I try to mention it because honestly, they are that good. I love them, and you guys could clearly see I use them a lot because now I'm running low. So anyway, here, this is like a 3x4 cut apart. I had to crop this down to make it kind of look even. The way that I kind of was in the I don't know if it was in the paper pad or the single double-sided sheet, whatever. It was a little bit shorter, so I had to kind of make it even. So it's about 3 7/8, I guess, by 2 7/8. So I made my waterfall to kind of go with that. So if you guys are going to be adding 3x4 size photos in here, they are going to need to be cropped down just a little bit. Like I said, this is 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. So you will need to crop it down a little bit. But I did it that way because that was the cut apart size that I had. So I matted with some solids here from my stash, whatever I felt matched this collection. However, I did not mat the whole entire thing because I didn't want to bulk it up too much. So when you open this up, you'll see this is blank here and you can add your photos. Now, if you are adding those like 3x4 size photos, you could fit it almost perfectly here, like I said, with a little teeny bit of cropping. But here, if you want to see this green part, it would have to be like another 1/2 inch shorter because these are 1/2 inch. So another 1/2 inch shorter in order to keep those pieces. But I think those look really nice, and I would honestly do that. I would crop it shorter so that you can still see these solids because it just looks neat. It looks clean, and I just like how that looks. But you can add your photos here and here to both sides, and you have a lot of space for photos. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18 photos there alone. And then on top of that, I had made this into a pocket. So it's like a pocket waterfall. So you can put stuff back there. As you can see, that little 3x4 cut apart kind of fits there sideways, but you can fit additional photos back there, and you could fit photos that measure 4x6 even if you wanted to. You could fit 4x6 comfortably in that pocket back there. So yeah, that is the folio I made, and you could see like I did focus on the blues and the greens. I think it looks really, really pretty. It is available in my Etsy shop in case you guys are interested in purchasing it, or any of the albums for that matter. There's always a bunch of albums in my shop, and I'm always adding more stuff to my shop as well because I'm always making more and more things. So these just happen to be like a family kind of themed one, home themed album, family photo scrapbook album. And they're just really great to display, have people look at them when they come over, or just, you know, for you to have with your family photos. But yeah, so again, that was me trying to smash this, the Avenue paper pad. And I think I did a really good job between this project and the other 2 albums that I made, like this, plus this one. I think we did a really good job. But anyway, check out my Etsy shop, see what's available. Check out the process video on this folio so you guys can make one too. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next crafty video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.